Yo, it's your boy for Twisted Gaming, Hunty, again with another video. I have had a 3-week break. Okay, I went over to Norway to do some home improvements, ready for me leaving the military and actually being with the fiance and our new baby boy who was due in September. So yeah, exciting times and busy times. So that is the reason why I have not streamed or done anything for 3 weeks. But I am back in the UK at the moment, currently on camp. Okay, but yeah, let's get straight into the build. This is my favourite build on Magic Templar this patch. Okay, this is a build without any of the pay-to-win gear for these people that don't want to purchase the DLC just to get the Malkoff rings and all that sort of good stuff. This build is perfect for you guys, and it has insane amount of damage. Like the pressure this build puts on people is insane. You're all in light armor, but the survivability is actually pretty decent. Okay, I've been having a lot of fun on this build, and I've been pulling off a lot of clips. And yeah, there's not many people who can survive the pressure of this unless they're a tanky necro, which is no one can kill them. Okay, let's go straight into the gear then. Try not make this as long as my last build video, because people were complaining. So we are going with 5-piece Shacklebreaker. We are using a Shacklebreaker Inferno Nirnhound with the weapon damage and spell damage glyph. Okay, what Shackle's going to give us then? It's going to give us weapon and spell damage, stamina recovery, magic recovery, and max stamina and max magicka. Okay, when I wanted to do this Magic Templar, I wanted to have the best all-round stats that I could. Because with Templar, a lot of your defensive, a lot of what you need to do as a Templar on the defense is block a lot. Okay, so I really wanted to have a good stamina pool with this build, and Shacklebreaker allows us to have that. Then on the back bar, we are running the Shacklebreaker sword and board. Okay. I am running the defending trait on the sword and impenetrable on the shield. Okay, you can run different traits. You don't have to run impenetrable on this, to be honest. You have enough crit resist. So if you want to go with a different trait infused or any type of good stuff, then crack on. We are running a 1-piece max magicka. Now this is where you can actually change the build up. I've done this because I wanted to hit 40k max magic. But you can run you could run 2-piece Grofdar, you could run Vulcan Scoria, you could run a monster set that would probably give you either a little bit more burst or a little bit more grind pressure. But for me, for overall sustain and open world, I wanted to push that max magicka to 40k, and it works for me. So I am 1-piece Grofdar on the head, heavy. Okay, and then I'm 1-piece Dommerhouse, medium. This is we're going 1-piece heavy, 1-piece medium, and 5 light to get the most out of Undaunted. Okay, and this is going to give us as max and stamina and max magicka, again giving us that all-round sustain pool with the max magicka and stamina. Okay, our second 5-piece is going to be Twiceborn Star. Okay, we have Twiceborn Star in Divines and 1-piece Impen. Okay, but we're predominantly in Divines. To increase the Wonderstone effectiveness. Why Twiceborn Star for me? I've always liked Twiceborn Star, and I've always wanted to make a build around Twiceborn Star, and I feel like Magic Templar really can take advantage of that, and it just works really nice on this build. Okay, it allows us to have 2 Wonderstones, which I'll show you in a second, and it just allows us to push this build to its maximum potential, damage and sustain wise. Okay, it's alright having a lot of damage, but if you can't sustain it, then there's pretty much no point. Okay, so this build has very good sustain and it has very good damage. Okay. On the jewellery, we are running Shacklebreaker jewellery. Okay, yes, you are going to have to do a bit of jewellery crafting. If not, you can go Bright Throats. Bright Throats is on par with Shacklebreaker. Shacklebreaker is getting a tiny little buff next patch. But them 2 sets are, they're pretty awesome sets. So you can swap out Shacklebreaker and go Bright Throats. So then you don't have to do jewellery crafting. You can actually buy Bright Throats. But I am 2-piece infused spell damage. And then I'm 1-piece arcane magic recovery. Okay, this is going to give us as maximum damage as well as the actual recovery, instead of just being flat out damage and then we get slapped as soon as someone survives this first burst. Okay, let's go into the character sheet. We are using the Apprentice Wonderstone, which is going to give us spell damage, and then we are using the Atronor again. It's going to give us magic recovery. So again, it's just balancing out damage with sustain, and Twice Born Star allows us to do that beautifully. We can push the damage at the same time as we can actually use the Atronor and still get recovery. So that's why I really like Twice Born Star. Food, we are using the Clockwork Citrus Fillet food. This is going to give us max magicka, this is going to give us max health, health recovery, max magicka, and magic recovery. Okay, it pretty much gives us everything that we require on this build. We do not need a max stamina food because we are rocking like 18k max stamina anyway, so we really don't need any more max stam. So we just go all out with the health and magicka. We are a Dark Elf. Again, Dark Elf is going to give us big spell damage, and it's also going to give us the best all-round stats: max stamina, max magicka. Again, giving us that all-round really good and strong stats. Let's go into the gear, into the skills, and then we'll go into the stats. So, Batbar, we are using Honor the Dead. The reason I go with Honor the Dead is because I'm quite a selfish player. Plus, I play a lot of solo. So, healing anyone who is below 75% restores 60% of the ability's cost. Okay, so just a little bit of sustain. Living Dark. Okay, this is going to be another survivability. It's also envelop yourself in a lightless sphere for 6 seconds to protect yourself. Anytime an enemy uses a direct damage attack against you, the sphere lashes back, reducing their movement speed by 60% for 3 seconds and healing you for 2.5k health. Okay, this is going to help you survive against the magic sorks. Everyone knows this patch, magic sorks are absolutely nutty with a single target damage. This is going to allow you to survive and not feel too pressured by the mag sorks. Okay, this is going to allow you to get on the front foot. You pop this, you bar swap, you get on the front foot, and you're getting healed at the same time as being attacked. Okay, so for me, this patch, there's a lot of strong damage going out, especially direct damage, and I feel like this is a must, especially for open world. Okay, Batbar. Okay, we are using Race Against Time. The reason we're using Race Against Time is it just gives you the most. I tried Vampire on Templar, but it just really, for me, Vampire just is underwhelming this patch. It really is. They promoted it as if it was like the next best thing, but for me, it's really underwhelming, and I just really don't see the negatives for me outweigh the positives. So we're going Race Against Time, and this is going to be bend space and time around you and gain major expedition for 4 seconds. And minor force for 12 seconds, increasing your movement speed and your critical damage by 10%. Okay, so again, you're getting movement speed, which Magplar actually struggles with unless you use Mist. So this is going to give us that movement speed, so we can kite and get out of them dangerous situations. And also, it's going to give us critical damage by 10%, which is going to, when you proc it, when you start going on them jabs and you start putting that pressure on, trust me, them crit damages are going off. Extended Ritual, this is going to be our cleanse, so we can cleanse up to 5 harmful effects. Channel Focus, okay, create a rune, a protection. While active, the rune grants you major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 5,280. You also recover 240 magicka every 1 second, okay. So what you want to try and do is always, if you're kiting around a tree, if you're trying to get around a rock or whatever, always try and keep this rune down, because it is going to be one of the biggest survivability tools that you have on this class, okay. Also, standing within this increases physical and spell resistance granted by 50%. Okay, so you are substantially a lot tankier in this. But while we're using Temporal Guard, pretty much 90% of PvPers are using Temporal Guard at the moment, because it is giving you an 8% reduced damage from everything that hits you. Okay, it's just really strong. Now, if you're running group, you don't need to run this. You can run Combat Prayer. You can run, if you're a vampire, the Vampire Ulti, all that sort of good stuff. But for me, I play solo or 2vx, so Temporal Guard gives me the best that I need. Front bar, we're running Puncturing Sweeps. Okay, this is going to be our pressure spammable ability. Reflective Light, okay, the reason I go for reflective light over than the other one is it has extended. The other one has extended time. Okay, I just feel like within the rotation, you don't need the extended time, and you always are going to be recasting because there's always multiple enemies. People are always cleansing. Okay, so I go for the one that hits multiple targets. So and also while activating this ability, you gain major prophecy, increasing your spell critical rating. Now this goes really nice with the Sigil Cord. It increases your spell damage, your critical damage, and this is going to give you more critical rating. Okay, so the crits hit so hard on this build, and it's really nice. Front bar, again, talking about crits, we are using this while slotted. Your max magic is increased by 5%, and you gain major prophecy, increasing your spell critical rating. Again, I really don't know if these stack. I've got to be honest. Actually, no, of course they don't stack. It's the same, yeah, major prophecy. Okay, so you don't, yeah, these don't stack. So the reason I've got in a light on there is that max magic is giving us the biggest potential damage on that front bar possible. Okay, and it's also giving you that 100% uptime on the spell critical rating. Toppling charge. Okay, this is going to be as gap closer and RCC. Okay, so you charge at the enemy, dealing 6.3k damage, and stunning them for 3 seconds and setting them off balance. Okay, so obviously when you set them off balance, you are actually doing more damage. Okay, so for me, this is the best gap closer on Magplar. It just really works really strong, and it just does mega damage. Like, it just goes really nice with the combination. Degeneration. This is going to be our major sorcery buff, as well as it's going to be like an extra dot, but it fits in the rotation really nice. And then Crescent Sweep is going to be our aggressive ultimate. Now you can use Dawnbreaker, you can use Vampire ulti, you can use whatever you want, to be honest, but for me, Crescent Sweep works really nice on Magplar because you get it so frequently and so oftenly. It just works really nice with the rotation, with the constant pressure and just grinding people down, and it actually hits really hard. So yeah, Crescent Sweep for me is, I think, it's best in slot for Magplar. Okay, so let's go on to the stats. So we are looking at 2.2k magic recovery, 38k max magic on the back bar with 17.4k max stamina, and our resistance 26.2 and 25k with 3k crit resist. So in light armor, they're quite respectable stats. Okay, you're not overly tanky, but you're tanky enough to survive. Let's go on the front bar. Okay, front bar 40k max magicka, still 2.2k practically 2.3k max magicka. We got 2.7k spell damage. Okay, this is without a major sorcery buff, without a light attack, without any of that good stuff. So with all that, you are touching 4, but I think it works up fully buffed. You get like pretty much 4k weapon damage, spell damage, sorry, and you are just hitting like an absolute truck. And that's on top of having big critical spell critical and crit damage all on top of that, and it literally hits like a truck. Okay, I think I've covered everything other than CP, so let's go to champion points again. These are personal preference, I say this every time. Okay, so pay lip service to this. You can change these about as and when. It's all personal preference. What works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. But this is what works really nice for me. So yeah, that is the build. If I've missed anything, I apologise, because I always seem to miss something on these build videos. Now, I'm not saying this build is like the best in slot or whatever. This is what I'm using at the moment, and it's working phenomenally for me, and it's quite easy to get hold of. And it isn't using the pay-to-win Malakoff ring, which at the moment is, for me, I fully disagree with the Malakoff ring. Again, it's taken away the skill factor from this game, which they seem to be doing a lot more often with these proc set buffs and Malakoff, and yeah, just giving damage to players, which for me, it just shouldn't be part of the game. But yeah, that's my moan over. Thank you for watching the build video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe the video, and please, you know, any feedback at all, whack it in there, whether it's negative, positive. I'm open, you know, I'm open, all ears. No one's perfect, and that's the takeaway from this. And yeah, I stream every day from 1900 hours over on Twitch, same name as my YouTube. So yeah, please come over, whack a follow. All support is massively appreciated. Thank you very much.